Welcome, you have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review will be Power Book Through, Raising Kanan Season 2, Episode 9. Let's get into it. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's begin. So this episode was a little better. It picks up Jimmy, who took a shot at Marvin. Didn't succeed, of course. Lou showed up, iced him, killed Jimmy. Next we seen the counselor Renee. She was killed. Many of us that watched the series to do reviews, we were thinking whether was she gonna make it? Was they gonna have a scene with her in the hospital? But it went straight to her funeral. So of course Marvin wasn't able to clap those cheeks that many of us thought was going to happen. Now Marvin showed some emotion at the funeral because this is his character arc of how he's changed, how counseling helped him change the way his outlook and handle his anger. Now, from there, you had Crackhead Sam. So Crackhead Sam is woofing, urinating in public. Cops pick him up, and he pretty much was like, "I know who killed the officer." And they're like, "Yeah, Sam, pretty much." But who shot the officer? You already said that, and basically, what he said, the last thing he didn't really know was it was bad information. So he was raving about that the whole time. So Burke happened to be there, and he kept mentioning it. He went on and on. So Burke wouldn't let it up. Of course, she went to the chief and said, "We got a witness," pretty much saying he knows which part. Now, Crackhead Sam wouldn't be the best witness because he's on drugs. So how you gonna believe anything he say? What he's seen? That could have been anybody, just like he said. His credibility on the stand wouldn't be valid enough. So I don't know. She's going down a rabbit hole. Nevertheless, the captain called internal affairs on her. Then Howard seen her. They let Crackhead Sam out of jail, and he seen him talking to Burke. So she gave Sam some money and pretty much told her that she could reach him at the dope spot, crack spot, and another spot. He told her. So you have Famous itching for money, and while he's itching for money, he pretty much get kicked out of his home, and Crown was giving somebody studio time to let him stay in the apartment. So he wanted Kanan to holler at Lulu to try to get the landlord's studio time so he could keep the apartment. Lulu was about to say, "Hey, we'll find something, we'll work something out." Cartier stepped in and pretty much was like, "Nah, we ain't giving no charity. I'm going to teach you how to fish." Gave him that scenario. Teach a man how to fish, he'll be able to eat for life. But if you feed him, he's going to keep coming back. So Cartier gave him that. So Lulu pretty much was saying, "I thought you was a silent partner," or whatever. So Lulu find himself back in the same position he was pretty much with Rock. So then you had Rock got Tremont out of jail. That's the connect down in D.C. So he was thankful, but he said he couldn't do nothing until Cartier was out the way. And so Rock was like, "Well, let's get that deal going." He was like, "Not till Cartier is gone." And pretty much Cartier he's about his business, but basically he's a terror on the streets as well. So she's like, "All right." So she's going to pick the play in to get Cartier out of there. So you show Rock, she's with a bodyguard now, of course. And she finally officially got the house. So you're gonna be wondering if she she got the house. Do they actually move into the house? So hopefully they do, and they carry the storyline out. Now, you also see a scene where Sal pretty much is speaking over with some mob bosses about Jimmy was basically canceled, and saying basically they need to know the inside and outs before they just make a move in Queens. They need to make an inside and out. They need to know the inside and out of Rock's organization over there before they make a move on her. So you show Sal talking to Unique, and pretty much Unique is stand up. Like, regardless that what Marvin and them did, and pretty much set him up to get framed for the murder and all that, he's been stand up really pretty much the whole time, just playing chess. So Sal pretty much dropped the give us all of Rock's information. So Unique told him, like, pretty much, yeah, Marvin, I don't fool with him, but your Marco did the job. He just muffed it up. So it wasn't really Marvin who killed him. So Sal ain't trying to hear that or whatever. So he was like, I'm disappointed, Unique, because Unique pretty much said, I'm not a snitch. I'm not telling you her information. So he pretty much told Unique, well, she'll never know. He said, I will. So he pretty much told Unique, they'll help you to your car. So he know that's Unique pretty much drawing his line in the sand. Now, the war's going to begin. Meanwhile, Rock is meeting up with the crew, telling them they got to put a play in to... He telling Lou, like, we know you want out of this, but we need your head in the game. We need to make sure you in it. Because Gary Beyond, she bringing in people from Syracuse and all these places to come help to get the war started. Now, Lulu is saying, the mob is pretty much, they got more money than us, and they got more people. We can't beat them. And so she said, we don't need to beat them. We just need to beat the people from Jersey. And once the top heads start hearing about they getting whooped by Jersey, they're going to frown upon them. So that was kind of when they was sitting with Sal, they were telling him that, like, yeah, you just can't go in there just shooting everybody, starting a war, and you don't know what's what, because you're going to cause problems. Now, they told him, Marvin, she need him to tighten up, and he need to go at Crackhead Sam. And you see that play in there. So it shows again now, Cartier did try to push up on Rock to try to knock it down, but she pretty much, told him, you just trying to buy your way to get some poon. He was like, nah, I'll never pay for that. Basically, he liked what he want. So she played hard to get on him. So that didn't go down. She just was learning his whole business information. Now, it shows a scene with Marvin and Juke. Marvin pretty much, they talking about how was the funeral, and Juke asked him, did he cry? Telling them it's okay to show emotion. He just is like, and then he confessed to her like all the wrong he did, and he trying to make things right. And she pretty much told him, you can't do right by me or anybody else unless you do right by yourself. And he's like, I'm trying, I'm working. So his character art is turning a new leaf. Now, with the sister he had, is going to draw him back in. So two things is going to happen to Marvin. Either he going to die in the war, or he's going to jail, or whatever. And so when I think about storylines for this show, I think it would be crazy to see both brothers, because both brothers' character arcs is they went out the game. So Rock is keeping them in. So I'm just predicting one brother's going to jail, one brother going to die. So, because they both went out and the sister's keeping them both in. So we're going to see how that play out, and he either's going to die or go to jail. So, and the brothers, of course, Lulu and Marvin. Now, from there it shows Nicole's father requested for Juke to come to her house to talk about Nicole. When she get there, it's Internal Affairs doing an investigation. They need the father's story to be collaborated that Detective Howard told the dad. And of course, Juke is sturdy. I don't talk to cops. This and that and the third. Plus, she got a soft side for Burke because Burke looked out for her. So we're gonna see how that play out. So of course she went and told Kanan like, "Yo, Howard told Nicole's dad some information," and so Kanan pretty much like, "I talked to him." She's like, "Well, I don't talk to cops," pretty much. So they had that conversation, and she's, the trailer that went out, not the trailer, the little video, sneak peek shows Rock talking to Juke about Kanan. And of course, Juke brought that up to Kanan. He pretty much like, I ain't trying to hear all that. So Kanan get more wild out in the streets. Meanwhile, Kanan and Famous was in a pizza shop. Of course, Kanan got money, bought him some food. So we don't know how much Kanan got, because you would think Kanan should be able to pay the rent there, but obviously not. So Kanan, they seen the guy who a pistol whip, that Kanan pistol whip, he's delivering pizza. And Kanan, I'm Famous looking at him like, well, he getting money? I'm the only one not getting no money. And so Kanan pretty much like, you not as grimy as he is. Basically, you ain't no hustler to get to the bag. Like, so that's why you ain't got no money. So Famous is looking. So he waited to, Kanan went to sleep. Famous waited till Kanan went to sleep. Snuck out the apartment. Went to the Kanan's old girl down the block, and I said down the block, down the hall. Knocked on her door and asked for the gun. Corinne, I think her name's Corinne, and asked for the gun and for her to get it from the mom, Baltimore. And she snuck and got the gun. Came back like, don't do nothing with this gun. I'm telling you, because if you do something with the gun, I'm saying you stole it. Foreshadowing Famous going to jail. So, foreshadowing Famous going to jail. So, Famous goofball put a ski mask on and go robs the person who, the young boy that Kanan, first of all, I can't think of his name right now. That's why I said the young boy. But if you've been following the story, you know who it is, his name or whatever. But nevertheless, he went and pointed the gun at him. The guy is laughing at him because he know it's Famous. You know he goofy. Guy pulls out, showed him his gun, like, you not gonna do nothing. So of course, Famous scary. He didn't say, he said Famous name out there, and boom, what happened? Famous shot him. Shot him once, and shot him again. And of course he ran off. But as he ran off, it shows somebody that was across the hall had the door open, and they pretty much seen what happened. So Famous is going down. Now what's going to happen is they're going to eventually lock Famous up, and then he going to get behind bars and sing like a canary. Now you have Marvin go and get crackhead Sam. And crackhead Sam, you think he's out here. Marvin is showing them the rocks, like, come take a ride with me, I need your help. Now it shows a scene at the end of the night where Marvin got crackhead Sam at the bus station to Atlanta, telling them take the bus ride, get going, because if he see him again, he gonna have to get him out of here. He gave crackhead Sam a stack of money. I told him, man, I shouldn't be doing this, man, because you're a fiend, but go clean yourself up. And he pretty much looked at Marvin like, I am, man. He like, for sure, brother, you got to do it. And the bus only got down a block before crackhead Sam told the bus driver, let me out. Now, he got a wallet full of money, a knot, and Marvin gave him this. Man, that was the dumbest thing down there. In one hand, it's showing Marvin character's art is trying to change a new leaf, and he thought that was the best thing to do when Rock told him to get him out of here. But what it should have showed, so it was a scene, the way the camera view it showed the bus stop. Here you hear Sam saying, um, let me out, and it showed Sam get out, and it showed the bus leaving. What it should have showed when the bus left is Marvin sitting right there. That would have been a harder writing right there, and Marvin like, I knew I couldn't trust you, mother, and then let that, because Burke already showed up. She showed up where the spots that Sam be, and he wasn't there, so she already on the tail or whatever. So they should have that would have been a better writing, because now he come up dead. Now they gonna be like, who did it? Like, you still have the trail, but now you gonna let Marvin be that dumb that you gave this crackhead a wop. You gave him a lot of money that he was gonna really follow through with that. Like, come on, like that writing was nutty. That you could write better than that. Nevertheless, the one last scene, you got 50 Cent comes in narrating, and Cartier reaches home, and he think he on top of the world. He's rolling up, and somebody jump on the phone saying he on his way. So he stays at the penthouse, but the elevator stops on the 8th floor. He just sitting there smoking a cigar. When the door opens, it's Rock and Lulu sitting there with their guns out. He laughing like, yeah, right. Y'all don't even trust each other. And then of course Rock say, but we family blood though. So they shoot him. Rock stand over top of him, give him the kill shot to the head. And then Lou, she looked at Lou, and then he shot him one more time. They got him out of there. So now, of course, Lulu will be the sole owner of Bulletproof Records. But we all know Crown Camacho body was found. So see how this playing full circle? We know that from last episode. Now this is going to allow Rock to move her product down in DC and stuff like that. So what I think is eventually going to happen is, like way back when they show that, if you look through YouTube and show the clip where when Kanan got out of jail, he said to, I think it was Tommy or one of them, I wouldn't see my mom. So nobody knows if that meant the grave site or he went to go see her in jail or something. I think it's going to end up turning out she end up in jail, because it would be dope once they finally get to that moment, if Rock went to jail all them years and she gets out and then they cross Rock over to Power. That'd be a dope character. The Power with Tyreek in them, So that but that's a long time from now. The trailer for next week pretty much show the war starts. Who gonna make it out alive? So that's all I have for now. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.